Hey, shalom, shalom. It's Fallen Yeshua. Welcome again to the Rock. I'm back. I want to thank y'all for those who prayed. As you can see, I am breathing perfectly fine. The allergies went away, and any other ailments that I had are long gone. Also, want to thank y'all for your patience. Just took the Shabbat off. You know how it usually is when you start feeling good after you've been down for a week or two or three or a month, or you haven't been able to work the way you normally do. You go out and you hit it really, really hard, and then when you hit it really, really hard, when you're 75%, when you're still at 75%, you know how you pay for it. Yeah, that's what happened to me. I was paying for it, but was well taken care of. Praise y'all for that, and I'll be pumping out some more videos and live streams. This video, I wanted to discuss, the idea of, there's a lot of, especially in the news today, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of people talking about governments, talking about what this government's going to do, is Biden going to do this, that, or the other, and I spend less time worrying about and thinking about what they're going to do, and I spend more of my time thinking about what is my reaction going to be to what they do, or does it even warrant a reaction? For instance, people are talking about what's going on in Ukraine. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no letter I can write. There's no response. There's no video I can do that's going to cause the fighting to stop. That's going to cause the escalation of this situation to stop. Just like it doesn't matter how much people talk about what's going on as far as the Second Amendment and things like that. There's nothing that you as an individual are going to do to stop what they are going to do. What you need to do is you need to figure out for yourself what you're going to do as far as you and your family are concerned. That's it. You plan for that, and you plan for how you think other people are going to react and respond to their lives being affected. People, we can complain all day long about this country giving billions to Ukraine. Is it great? Excuse me. Is it great to be aware of this? Absolutely. Is there anything that you're going to do or say to get that money back? Is it 40 billion, 30 billion? Is there anything that you're going to say to get that money back? The bigger question is, what are you going to do with your money? A lot of people focus. It's almost like, I understand people who do the news and they talk about what the news is saying, but I try to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. I don't talk big game. I don't run my mouth talking about what I'm going to do and all that stuff because I don't need to. I'm a person that has learned that you walk circumspectly. Be wise in the words that you say and the things that you do. Because by running your mouth about every single thing that is happening in this world and in this country, you're always stating but the Bible says, be not curious unnecessary matters. There are some matters that no matter how much you talk about it, nothing you can do about it. So don't even be curious about it. I focus on the things that I can do based on the information that is happening. So for instance, if there's a food shortage, I'm worried about my response, not about what the government's response is going to be. If they ban or try to do something with these, Armalite rifle 15s, or Biden believes that a 9mm can blow out a person's lung, that's great. That's great. But in reality, what he says is what he says. What am I going to do to change that? Nothing. So then what is going to be my or your response to that? That's the question. And then what is the average person's response going to be? So we know if there's a food shortage, the average person's response could lead to looting. It could lead to theft. It could lead to, the whole, I'm going to take what you got. Okay. Now, what's your response going to be? No, and I'm not even saying have your typical, because a lot of people talk like that they're badasses, like they are uber gunfighters, and that their group is the best, and that their fighting skills are the best, and that their rifle skills are the best. I've been asked to do a stream. I'll probably end up doing a stream or a series on if things devolve and get as bad as we think they could, what would gangs responses be to this? Now, I can't speak for every single gang. There's a lot of gangs, but based on my where I've been and things like that in life, how I see their responses could be, and I see people talk about these topics and gangs, and well, my group's the best because we did this, that, and the other, and I sometimes I just laugh. I just laugh because these are people that train by running around their shooting range compared to people who live this lifestyle every day. Every day they're hopping fences. Every day they're theft. Every day they could be arrested. Every day they could be shot dead. Every single day. They live SHTF every single day. So I will do a video, maybe a video series, maybe a stream about it. You know, there are those, that live it every single day, and then there are those that grab their kit and their bags and they walk off into the hills for a little bit. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little bit different for those that are out here compared to those that are in the city. But I'll discuss that. But all in all, the question really is what are you going to do based on what you see? Not what are they going to do, whether it be groups, gangs, government. What are you going to do? Are you in a position to affect your response? And I mean, really, because a lot of people's responses are just going to be laid down to play the game the way that whatever power at the time says to play it. If they say you can't eat unless you take this mark, well, then you're just going to take the mark. Let's just be real about it. You're going to take the mark. Let's stop pontificating. You're not putting yourself in any position right now to possibly mitigate the consequences. If they say take this poke, you're going to take it because most people already did. People already capitulated. If they say you have to come to this grocery store to get this food, or you have to come to us to get your water, guess what you're going to do? And whatever payment there's going to be for you to get it, you're going to get it. But for those that have been speaking a big game, talking a big game about how they're not going to do this and not going to do that, and they're going to stand for Yah and da-da-da-da-da, well, you may want to make sure that you are in a position to. Talk is cheap. You can get talk at a Dollar Tree. You don't get actions at a Dollar Tree. You get talk at a Dollar Tree. And a lot of people are doing a lot of talking right now. When you look at their lives and you look at the positions that they find themselves in, they ain't walking nothing out. Talk is cheap. Being a uber badass on the internet is cheap. What's it going to be like when real life hits you? That's what matters. This is why I say and talk about things like, man, get your household in order. Because talk is cheap. You don't know how you're going to act, and you don't know how your family's going to act. You have no clue what you're going to do other than depend on what you've been depending on and praying and hoping that the new normal at least looks good enough for you to navigate through it. Talk is cheap. Affecting what you can affect isn't cheap. Pontificating on what happens if Putin launches the Satan II missiles, sure, that's great. What happens if it's not a missile? What happens if it's just civil unrest in your area? Those are the things that we should be worried about. Civil unrest in your area. If your grocery store, or your Walmart, or your Trader Joe's, or your Stater Brothers, or your Aldi's, or whatever store you shop at, Kroger's, your store doesn't have the supplies and people start getting angry. If gas prices get too high for you to travel, who does it really matter if this country does not open up this reserve or they do open up that reserve, gas prices are going to keep going up, and we see that game being played right now. So what are you going to do about that? Macro level thinking is great. But I'm finding out more and more is people have a strategy, but they ain't got no tactics. They have a strategy, so-called strategy, but with no tactics. If you don't understand what that is, listen to read what Sun Tzu said it about a man that has strategy with no tactics. It's eye-opening. And then a man that has no tactics, has tactics with no strategy. Just read what he said about that. Anyways, I'm about to get off this. Hope you're having a blessed day. I may try to throw out another video a little bit later. Shalom.